Cool. So we're running.
Okay, so how do we want to try and do this all in one take, or do we want to do it like?
I'm shooting for one take.
Okay.
And we'll just see what happens. If I fluster myself, then we'll either start over or I will answer,
The questions,
specific
cut
questions.
them together.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. And now that I'm doing this is hard to do.
High School Musical this. We should put this. Yeah. We should have a little blooper reel at the end if there's time. Really get a shot of your personality there. Ma.
Yeah.
Ma.
Okay. I want to say this seems reasonable.
You could give yourself a little bit of a scripting for the opening part.
It's fine. I think I'm gonna manage it.
Okay. Turn your swag on. Turn your swag on. I got it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Fondue for Two. This is my friend Sarah, and I'm of course Natalie Blackburn. But before we get to Fondue or the rest of the show, we're going to take some questions from our audience. So I was asked recently to explain a little bit more about myself. I am Natalie, I'm 28, I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm a trans woman. I'm an Aries, although I don't take it terribly seriously, and among my hobbies are gaming of all types, video games, card games, board games, etc. Reading, coding is a hobby for sure, as well as fashion and makeup. And then I have some questions actually from Ada Academy. They wanted to know, why am I interested in programming, and what have I done to expose myself to it so far? And I'm really interested in programming because it has the capacity to help a lot of people. We live in an increasingly digital world, and in doing so, understanding how to use those tools to our best abilities is one of the things that we can do to make the world a better place. It's interesting, it's challenging, it always has the potential to get more bleeding edge and more sort of future tech. To expose myself, I have already attended a coding boot camp at Pacotus here in Portland, Oregon. It's a 4-month program. I've gone to local meetups for Ruby, various other languages and interests, and then I've been freelancing jobs and reading books in my spare time. Ada's got a lot of questions, so I figured I would hit a couple more. They want to know what my professional goals were 2 years and 5 years out, and that's an excellent question as well. 2 years from now, I would like to be working someplace that has a strong mentorship program, someplace where somebody is really looking forward to and is excited to be working with me and sort of helping me become a better programmer, really so that they and I can both learn and grow in who we are. And 5 years out, I think that I would like to be able to do that for other people. I would like to be working, I've figured out what part of tech I really feel engaged with, what I think is the most exciting, and be mentoring people who are kind of where I am now. If I'm taking a year off to learn new skills, that is definitely a complicated and difficult thing to do. So I'm definitely prepared for that. I've done it before. Pacotus was not a year long, but definitely a significant chunk of time to dedicate to doing something in that scale. I love learning new things, and I'm very comfortable with it, so I don't necessarily have to know everything immediately to be okay with how things are going. And I'm happy to make sacrifices for my own future happiness, so if it means that I have to scrape a little bit to get by in the process, that's okay. I'm currently saving money to make sure that I can achieve my goals, whether it's attending an academy or something else, and making connections in the local Portland tech community. Tell about a time that I made a mistake. Sure, I can talk about making mistakes. It's something that everybody does. I recently took on a freelance project. It was pitched to me in a certain way that seemed well within my skills. And I very rapidly found out that was not actually what was needed. And instead of perhaps not even instead, but I was not clear enough that was very rapidly becoming a problem with the project. I didn't manage expectations well. I didn't set boundaries with my client, and I didn't really write anything down. It was all a verbal sort of relationship. And none of that is inherently wrong, but it did make it incredibly hard for me to go back and do all of those things once I realized there was a problem. So in the future, especially with freelance client relationships, I'm trying to do a better job of setting expectations early, setting up boundaries so that I have time to be on my own, to do things that are not necessarily working on the project, and sort of writing it all up in a document of some kind, some sort of expectations for both me and them. Finally, Ada, who still has questions, wants to know if I have ever taught myself anything before, and to talk about it a little bit, and that's absolutely true. I think it's hard to be a human without teaching yourself something at some point, but I've done a lot. Aside from coding, which I could talk about, I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. It's a card game. It's very complicated. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of strategies involved, and typically when you start playing, you're really bad at it. And one of the things that I did to get better at that was honestly to be okay with being bad. But not only to just be okay with being bad, but to spend a lot of time trying to get better, to read and talk to people about things that, you know, maybe I didn't understand about the game, so that I could expand my knowledge, and then playing against, and this applies in many other aspects, working with people who are just a lot better at it than you are. Nothing gets better if you're the best person at it. And Magic is exceptionally true in this way. Yeah, repetition, making sure that you're constantly challenging yourself, and, you know, working with others who know more than you do. That was the key to getting better at Magic. That's been the key to getting better at programming, and I imagine it's going to continue to be the key to learning new things as I continue to grow. At this point, there is spinach artichoke dip that absolutely has to be eaten, and we're kind of out of time. So I'm going to sign off. Sarah says bye, and we hope to see you later. Bye.
So good. Oh my god.
Seriously.
Yo, yeah. I literally, I had to stop.